Welcome to the Path Podcast, where we will travel the lives of some bold women, from dreams to detours to destiny. She did not choose this path. This path chose her. This is the Path Podcast. Welcome back, Path listeners, to the very last episode of 2021 for the Path Podcast. Wow, has it been a year or what? I didn't think, child, I was going to make it through this year doing this podcast, but I am here. I am ready. I'm going stronger in 2022, and I am excited and intentional again, which is the word I always use about being healed and free for every person out there, but specifically on this podcast, if you're new to women. I shouldn't have to say why I chose women, but being a woman myself, we all know that we deal with so much. We put ourselves on the back burner for our families, for our jobs, which is good, right? But still, we need to be intentional of our own healing so we can be better mother, wives, sisters, best friends. We have to definitely heal ourselves. My thing this going into 2022 is being healed and free. That's what I want for everyone who listens to this podcast. And if you're a male listener, please make sure you listen so you can see how you can even help the woman in your life and the mother or the daughter. Make sure she's healed and free. And if not, then share it with her as well, if she's not already listening. I'll tell you, we've had heard some survival guides from some amazing women, and we will have, going into 2022, more guests sharing some of the stories so we can also know that we're not alone. You think you're the only one going through that divorce. That is hard. That is heartbreaking. Something that you didn't see coming, some of you. You think you're the only one, and you think you're the only one that has heard those 4 words, you have breast cancer. I wish no one had to ever hear those words, but we know it's a real thing, unfortunately. And then, sometimes we may talk to someone who I always say is some of the ultimate pain of losing a child or losing a loved one. Those are some of the stories that I want to try to bring you in 2022. And I'll tell you, I'm thinking about starting the year out talking to more therapists and psychologists and psychiatrists, because we have to know how to come through these difficult times in our lives. A child being touched at a young age who doesn't even know what it is to be touched, who doesn't understand what is happening. It blows my mind that some of us will try to get through life with some of these traumas and these obstacles by ourselves. Sister, you are not alone. Come into the Path Podcast and let us help give some survival guides how you can come through this. Now, I'm going to tell you this. The one thing I can tell you is going to take is you making a decision today that you want to be healed and free, that you are no longer going to sit in that pain. Some of you, if you're married and you dealt with some trauma and it's interfering in that marriage, you have to come in. You have to intentionally seek the help yourself. If you got a topic that you want me to bring to you, please let me bring it. You don't have to tell me your name. You can be anonymous. I'll give you the email and all of the information at the end of the show, so you can send me that, and I'll be happy to find those guests for you, those experts that can talk on those topics, so we can know it can help some of us who may not be ready to reach out to that next step. And hopefully you will hear something that will help you say, okay, if they did it, I can do it also. Again, like I've said in several podcasts, we're no different than you are. We just made a decision that we had to move past some of the pain and traumas that we've dealt with in those situations that we've gone through, the obstacles, circumstances, and trauma. But you have to be intentional. Make a decision today. You don't have to wait until 2022. Dealing with the life stories that we talk about here, we know can be heavy. The guests I bring on here, after we've been healed and free from what we've gone through in our lives, you will hear us laugh. By the middle of each podcast, we're laughing somewhere in the middle of it. But I promise you that comes from the joy that they feel today, because they're walking in purpose. They're walking in, they found their voice. They know now who they are, they feel like, and they're just free. That's what freedom feels like. Joy. Go back to each episode, and by the end of each episode, you will hear the amazing things these women in the past and in the future on the show, they're doing today, that's bringing them so much joy. No one said it was easy, but we know anything worth having is worth fighting for. Your healing and your freedom is worth fighting for. What are you willing to fight for today? Each guest I have on here, they fought for what they have today. How did we do it, a lot of us? We had to change how we thought about the situation. The way we think affects how we feel, and how we feel affects what we do. Change your thinking and you can change your life. Yeah, again, it won't be easy sometimes. And some things are very hard. Trust me, I know. But we can't change it until we make a decision to start thinking of it differently, seeing it differently, and being intentional about healing to come through that thing. In my faith, I believe in a higher power. So I have to rely on God to help me to come through some things in my life. The things I don't understand, the things I don't want to be the way it is today, the things I want change, but I know I have to seek Him to make sure I'm in His will on what it is that He would have me to do. I also believe that He placed all of us here with purpose. Seek Him for a purpose. Sometimes purpose comes out of pain. A lot of the stories you've heard on the show came out of the pain that some of these people have dealt with. This podcast came out of some pain I dealt with. Go back to episode 1 when I tell part of my story. But I promise you, if you seek God, you will find an answer. I'm intentionally trying to sit and listen and hear, because I'm a talker. So now I'm trying to learn to be quiet now so I can hear what He's telling me. As I move this podcast on into 2022, I don't know what will change. I'm going to try to do some bigger things and hopefully some new things that will first be out of service. First, seeing my sisters out here healed, seeing everyone happy and living and walking in their purpose. As I wrap up the show, because I didn't plan on this show being long at all, it's the end of the year. We're all celebrating the holidays, and I just wanted to pop in to just let you know that we're coming back in 2022 with some amazing guests, and I hope you will stay connected, be a part of the podcast, share it with others that are going through situations. Connect with me, please. When I said earlier, if there are topics that you would want to hear, or a specific therapist type that talks about certain topics that you would want discussed, send me an email, and I will definitely look for some of the best professionals out there to help you, and people who have gone through some of these circumstances that you bring up to me, so we can share their stories. So I will definitely I would love to hear from each one of you, and let me know what you want to hear more from the Path Podcast. I will be bringing some amazing women again on the show like I did in 2021. Again, I want to thank all of my guests who share their stories with us, and we have so many more in store for you. I will be popping in, doing a whole lot more solo episodes. I will try to do some live episodes coming up in 2022, maybe mid of the year. I will try to do some live shows because we want to have people come in and ask questions. So you have a lot to look forward to in 2022. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast if you have not done so already, and stay abreast of all the changes that's coming through here and from some of my guests that I will always support, because as women, we have to support each other. And I always tell them, you have a friend in Arlene. So if you ever hear a guest pop back in, that's because I am here to support her. We all do more. We're better together. I am a better me because of a lot of the guests that were here. And I will continue to bring additional people that I want to connect with so we can be better for others out there. You will hear me in most of my shows now saying, I am your sister, your motivator, your confidence builder, the one who believes that purpose is bigger than obstacles. Stay connected, everyone. Until 2022, I'll see you there. Thank you, everyone, for hanging with us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and other platforms, so you can stay up on our bi-weekly real conversations with these bold women. You can follow The Path Podcast on Facebook at The Path Podcast, and on Instagram and Twitter at The Path_podcast. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or have questions for a future show, you can email us at thepath4ward@gmail.com. That's thepathforward@gmail.com. And if you're looking for a speaker or you're in need of a life coach, please reach out to me. Again, at thepathforward@gmail.com or at ACKORLEH@gmail.com. Thank you. Until next time.